Okay. Well, then the obvious question is this, Febiven. Why did you leave FNATIC? Did they kick you? Did they not want you anymore? Did you choose to leave? What goes on there, mate? Why? Like in this team here, if I look at the lineup there, I understand maybe the Koreans couldn't stay. They had their issues. Obviously, at this point in time, like Yellow Star's pretty old in his career. He probably wasn't going to play much longer. But like, why not just build around Febiven and Reckless? It seems obvious to me.
I mean, obviously at the time, I think we had Nico de Pico,
Yes.
and this guy was like he was scouting caps for a really long time, and at that time H2k went to World, right?
Yes.
With
The year
Ryu,
before they were at Worlds. Yep. Yep.
and that team was fucking insane.
Sure.
And I always thought that Ryu was kind of like their weakest link, and I always thought that if I would play instead of this guy, this team would actually be really fucking insane. And at the time, they were really like horny for caps, and they were like really pushing for him. And I was like, if this team doesn't really want me anymore, and other team like H2k really wants me, and they're like really interested, and I feel like that's a better team as well, then why would I not go there? Like, it doesn't matter at that point if I'm playing for Fnatic or if I'm playing for H2k, if I feel like the roster is better. And that's how I've
Yeah.
always
Sure.
like decided where I go. Um, so yeah, I mean, that's kind of like what I
The only,
thought.
yeah, the only tough thing is though, like obviously you didn't have the Forgiven Vander bot lane when you went there. You got this weird Korean bot lane, who, by the way, one of them, Nuclear, actually wasn't like damn one gamer for the last few years. People don't know he actually wasn't like a terrible player. The problem is, I think the support that Che guy was fucking garbage. But that's just Thorin's opinion. That doesn't have to be anything else. You know, that can just be out there. But what I'm going to say is this, right? Listen, the bot lane had its issues, and I heard that like Prolly, I think he even admitted it in an interview with me. He basically asked for Koreans because he thought like that they would do everything he said, and something would be like a coach's dream. So forget the bot lane for a moment. The top side of the map, though, mate, was fucking banging because it was your old mate Odo Amner who used to play with Challenger, and this is when he was at his peak, in my opinion. And then Yankos, like, even though back then some people used to say, "Oh, he's a choker because he only makes the semis," like this guy has always been a fucking monster jungler. So like, some of the players in the team were pretty good when you were in the squad. So what did you think of this H2k experience the second time around?
Yeah, this is where things started. I mean, I obviously loved playing with the whole team. I think that team was really great, from cook to management to players to coach. Everything was really nice. I really liked playing in that team. But in the end, we just lacked like a lot of stuff. Like we played against Fnatic, I think, in the in the playoffs, I think, and then we got fucked. But it came down to small things. Like I think this team actually, if we did some things differently, could have been like really big. Like it was like really small. Like at least we had the potential. I felt like and then it just comes down to like a best of 5, right?
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, me and Yonkers were insane. Like that guy was just enabling me so well, and I was enabling him, and we were like, yeah, our top side was like smurfing, and I think our bot lane was also stable in a sense, and they were just doing their thing, right?
Did you have like a good actual personal relationship with Yankos? Like, did you kind of understand how to play with each other and how to communicate and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, we had a lot of fun together. Uh, I mean, that guy is just so funny. I respect him a lot. He's like very hardworking. Super funny as well. Super like so much energy, and yeah, just very nice, good guy.
Since the coach of this team was Prolly, and he probably isn't thought of as fondly as maybe I do because, his 100 Thieves period wasn't that great, and then now he's just sort of disappeared behind the scenes. What was he like as a coach? Because I know as a coach, for example, he was someone who put a lot of emphasis, funnily enough, on things that actually is what EU League of Legends is kind of about, like side laning, like macro concepts, Like, what was it actually like to work under him?
Um, I think his biggest strength was, or I guess is, like his game understanding, as you said. Drafts as well. I think he knew the meta really well and kind of like was able to scout very well, like what team comps were working. He was very good at asking information from the players. He was most of the time really like understanding. I mean, obviously it was nice to work with him. I think he had his strengths, obviously also weaknesses, and just like everyone.
I mean, I heard, for example, like as a weakness, like maybe he wasn't so good at like managing egos, or like sometimes maybe he was one of those coaches who had like the right idea on paper, but maybe like the team wouldn't be able to do that in the actual game. Is there anything to those?
I mean, one thing that stands out, and this is with a lot of coaches that I had. For example, after a LEC game, right? You come home, and then the coaches want to talk to you, but then
Yeah.
always the coaches get very emotional, which I understand. But if the coach is gonna get emotional, then the players are gonna get emotional too, depending on how they are. But usually, when you're young, 18, between 18 and 20, 22, 23, like everyone's gonna get triggered. So I think this is something that I mean, it didn't happen a lot, but I could see that him getting frustrated didn't really help the situation. And I guess it's the same for like the players, right? Like if the player gets frustrated, it's also easier for the coach to get frustrated. So it was just like permanently ping-ponging, like not really being understood, like just like not understanding each other, like on an emotional level.